So
better advocates.
I just, one thing I just want to say is that when the war started, the Israeli propaganda machine was in really powerful mode in the U.S., and we were hearing a lot from Zippy Livni and from others explaining, you know, why this was all what they needed to do and how well they were doing it. But I think that has dissipated somewhat as the reality of what happened in Gaza. The word is getting out in the U.S. I only say that for a bit of encouragement to you, and you're helping to make that happen. And I see another thing happening in the U.S. I mean, the fact that we have these 60 people, you know, here that have come is really a result of people feeling like a line, I think, was really crossed with this. It's like enough. And I think there's a real determination on the part of a lot of people to know that this is a critical time for to be heard in our country, for our voices to be heard around this issue. So I'm hoping that we can sustain, you know, the discussion. And one thing, though, I'm really interested in is this idea, because it's something that we can pursue with Congress. We know how to do it, about an independent investigation. You all have done the documentation, or are doing the documentation, I guess along with some others as well. And I'm wondering how that will all be compiled in some way. I don't know what it is that we're going to need, you know, to take to the State Department or to the members of Congress and say, you have to look at this. You know, we may not be able to control Israel, but we want you to enforce our own laws around this. And I think we're going to need that documentation. So I'm also, when we ask for an investigation, the Americans will probably say they can't do one of Israel themselves. But I wonder if there's some other, I'm trying to figure out how to frame this, because you've really, as I said, you're doing the investigation. There are other people that are coming in to verify all of this. So I'm wondering how we pull it all together. Maybe people like Jennifer Lowenstein, people like that can help us figure it out too. But if you have any thoughts about all of that.
I mean, actually, still we are doing our homework at this moment in terms of documentation. It's a very, very difficult, technical, and lengthy process to verify, because we do not rely on whatever figures or facts. For example, the Ministry of Health will issue the list of names of those who were killed, but we have to visit every single family out of those and to verify the age and how, and you know, eyewitnesses. It's our work. We have very strict standards in that, because our work is the credibility. If we lose it, then we are dead. We have to keep this very strict. But I'm sure. I mean, that's why we are engaged with many people. The problem is we have. And again, another problem here. You cannot plan for 2 hours in Gaza.
What?
You cannot plan for 2 hours. And imagine we have to plan for 6 months. And in case the borders are open, we can rush to meetings. Very soon I'm here. I mean, next Thursday I should go to Geneva for a meeting on the ICC and the war crimes and this. If the borders are open, then I might have the chance. I might be the only Gaza. I mean, the case is Gaza, and no representation from Gaza to present this. That's how we deal with it, you know.
Well, that says a lot, actually. So, I mean,
we have to be there. We have to convey the message. We have to talk about some very serious issues, but sometimes it's left like this. We have to keep this work of coordination, and whatever ideas come to our attention, I think we are more than happy to contribute to even what we have from in our database. We are ready to share it with anyone who is interested to pursue. The man there, he just raised his hand.
Thank you, sir. Have you heard anything about the role that Iran has played in trying to bring charges against the Israeli military and whatnot? And is it true that they have arrest warrants out?
Iran?
Like it's Iran, yeah.
Iran.
Yes.
Iran.
Yeah. Look, I think it's the season now at this moment. Everyone is talking about war criminals and war tribunals, you know,
happened before?
Since the war, since the first day, we heard many, I would say every state, Arab countries and many of the Muslim countries and all of human rights organizations, if you like, experts, every day you have news that there's a meeting to push for war crimes and forming a group of attorneys and committees to pursue. And the Arab League has done something. Algeria, Morocco, I mean, next, the 20th, there will be a meeting regarding war crimes. Last month, the end of last month, there was a meeting in Algeria. Also, they want to do something regarding the Israeli war criminals. So everywhere, I call it the season, but it's to a great extent political. It's not a matter of that we want. It's very technical, very lengthy process. I mean, honestly, I think it's difficult to imagine that an Israeli war criminal will be brought to justice in the foreseeable future. But in two cases, I mean, if we succeed to bring anyone to justice, then it's good. Case not, then we raise the argument, we raise the issue, which is a moral issue. Whether it is accepted, those norms is being drafted by the civilized nation. If they still keen enough to preserve them, or they something, it's no, we are not anymore in support. In case they are not anymore in support, well, okay, let's find other sets of laws or standards to govern this world. If you insist on still, it's yours. We learned them through you. We studied in Ireland, myself, we studied in the UK, studied all the related, the Just War, Thomas Aquinas, from A to Z.
The Magna Carta.
Yes, the Magna Carta, the French Declaration, and so on. Estelle, yes, if Estelle, your principles, then please preserve it.
The governor of my state, Bill Richardson, wrote a very strong letter of support for our delegation and for the people of Gaza. And he wants to hear from you when I return to New Mexico. I would like to take a copy of the documents that are prepared so far for him, if that's possible.
And me too. My congressman is Henry Waxman, and I'd like to pay him a visit, or sometimes I run into him at parties and things, and I'd just like to have something where I can just nail him.
We have two options. Either we prepare it and send it by email, so we can prepare something especially for a congressman or a
Talking
governor.
points.
Yeah, I mean, with the out-of-out documentation, and which is, I mean, to make it readable.
However, I'll give you mine.
we'd be more than happy. I mean, if in case, just give us your emails, and we'd be more than happy to.
And Gail, you want to do that through CodePink? Sure.
And
Put
our
it out on the
website is
delegation list today, tonight.
I was wondering if you, oh, sorry.
the lady.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment because this is like really like a burden I have. Like, I used to live in Israel for 2 years, and like I just find it like really amazing that you guys are so open-minded and you have like this wonderful ability to say, we want peace. Because like in my 2 years living in Israel, I lived with some Israelis, and like I had an Israeli boyfriend, and I like spent time with his family, and like all these people that I met, they really believe that Palestinians want to kill them. They believe that if a Palestinian could, they would kill them. Like, they really believe that you guys just hate them, and they're really brainwashed, like, from such a young age. They do believe that everyone in Gaza is all these children being trained by Hamas to shoot guns when they're 2 years old and to hate Jews, and, like, I just, like, feel like it's so hopeless, like, and I hate to be a bearer of, like, this horrible news, but it's, like, killing me inside to, like, think about, like, all the experiences I had and what people tell me, like, oh, like, they just teach them from such a young age that, the Jews came here, they bought this land from you guys fair and square, and, now you all just want to kill them. Like, it's just, I didn't even know, like, how to respond to people when they say this to me, too, right? Like, they really do believe it. Like, they believe that all Arabs want to kill Jews.
Yes, we speak Hebrew very well, by the way. We follow the news, the media, and we know how they